making English easy for everyone.
Speak English with Jay and May.
Hey, English learners. Welcome back to Speak English with Jay and May, your cozy little place to build your English confidence. I'm May.
Hello, May, and hello, everyone. I'm Jay. How are you today, May?
I'm doing amazing, Jay. Actually, I woke up this morning and my brain was already running 100 miles per hour.
Oh, wow. Why? What happened?
So I was making coffee, right? And my neighbor knocked on my door. She's from Brazil, super sweet lady. And she asked me, May, how are you? Simple question. And I said, I'm fine, thanks. And she just stared at me like I said something wrong.
Wait, what? Why did she stare?
Because she wanted a real answer. She said, no, I mean, really, how are you? And I realized, oh my goodness, I was giving the robot answer, the automatic answer, the answer I never actually think about.
Oh, I do that too. Someone asks me something and I just answer without even thinking, like a machine.
Exactly, and that is actually today's topic, Jay. We are talking about 50 English questions you must answer every single day. These are the questions real people ask you in real life, at work, at school, at the coffee shop, everywhere.
Ooh, okay, so like super common questions that English learners need to know?
Yes, and here's the thing. Knowing the question is only half the job. You also need to know how to answer them naturally, not like a textbook, like a real human being.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, so let's start with the most basic category, greetings and feelings. These are questions people ask you literally every single morning. And Jay, tell me honestly, when someone asks you, how are you, what do you say?
I say, I'm fine, thank you. Every time. Always the same.
See, that's the robot answer. I knew it. Okay, so here's what's actually happening in real life. When someone says, how are you, they want you to connect with them, not just answer. So you can say things like, I'm doing great, thanks for asking. Or, not bad, just a little tired today. Or even, honestly, I've been better, but I'm here.
Oh, so it's okay to be honest, like I don't have to always say fine.
Totally okay. In fact, being a little honest makes people like you more. It sounds human. Now wait, here's the interesting part. There are actually different versions of this question. People say, how are you? But they also say, how's it going? And what's up? And how have you been? Those all mean something slightly different.
You mean like they're all asking the same thing but in different ways?
Kind of. How are you is standard, polite. How's it going is more casual, like between friends. What's up is very relaxed, almost slang. And how have you been? That's when you haven't seen someone for a while. It means, tell me what happened in your life lately.
Oh, so I can't answer what's up with I'm fine, thank you?
Well, you can, but it would sound a little stiff. A natural answer to what's up is just not much, you? Or just chillin', or pretty busy lately.
That's so useful. Okay, what's next?
All right, next big category, introducing yourself. Now, Jay, imagine this. You walk into a new job on your first day. Your boss brings you to a room full of people and says, everyone, this is Jay. Jay, tell us about yourself. What do you do?
Oh no, I freeze. My brain goes completely empty.
Yes, everyone does. You know, I remember my first job in a new city. My manager did exactly that to me, put me in front of 12 people, and I just stood there like a statue for 5 whole seconds. 5 seconds of pure silence. It felt like 5 hours.
What did you say?
I said, hi, I'm May. I like coffee. That was it. That's all I said.
No way. Just that?
Just that. And everyone laughed, but actually it broke the ice. The point is, when someone asks, tell me about yourself, or what do you do, or where are you from, you need a ready answer, a simple, clear, natural answer.
Okay, so like what? What's a good answer?
So for tell me about yourself, try this formula. Your name, where you're from, what you do, and one fun fact. Like, hi, I'm Jay. I'm from Seoul, South Korea. I work in marketing, and I'm currently learning English because I want to travel the world. Done. Simple. Clean. Confident.
Oh, that's actually really easy. I can remember that.
And for where are you from, don't just say the country, add a little flavor, like, I'm from Tokyo. Have you ever been? That turns a one-word answer into a real conversation.
Oh, smart, because then they have to talk back.
Exactly. You're not just answering, you're opening a door. This is where things change for English learners. The best conversations happen when you answer and ask back.
Okay, wait, so what are some other questions in this category?
So you've got things like, what's your name? Easy. How old are you? You can answer directly or say, I'm in my 30s if you don't want to be specific. Are you married? Pretty common in some cultures. Do you have kids? And here's one I love. What do you do for fun?
Ooh, that one's tricky, because my honest answer is, I watch videos on my phone.
And that is a perfectly fine answer. You can say, I love watching YouTube videos, mostly about cooking and travel. See? Now it's specific and interesting.
Oh, I never thought to add the detail. Just saying, I watch YouTube sounds boring, but adding what kind, that's different.
Yes, details are your best friend in conversation. All right, let's move to the next category, everyday life questions. These are questions you hear at stores, cafes, restaurants, offices, like, can I help you? Or are you ready to order? Or do you need anything else?
Oh, at restaurants, I'd always panic a little because they talk so fast.
I know. You won't believe what happened to me once. I was at a fast food place in New York. The cashier asked me like 4 questions in 10 seconds. For here or to go? What size? Do you want the combo? Any sauces? I just stood there nodding and said yes to everything. I ended up with the largest size of everything and 6 packets of ketchup.
6 packets?
6 packets. So the lesson is, it's totally okay to say, sorry, can you say that again? Or, could you slow down a little, please? People are not annoyed by that. They actually appreciate it.
Really? I always feel embarrassed to ask someone to repeat things.
Oh, do not feel embarrassed. Native speakers ask each other to repeat things too. It's completely normal. And knowing how to say, could you repeat that? Or, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that, is actually one of the most important English skills you can have.
Okay, I'm writing that down in my brain. I didn't catch that. I love that.
Right? It's so natural. Okay, let's keep going. Now, let's talk about questions about opinions and feelings. This is where it gets really fun, because these questions help you connect deeply with people.
Like what kind of questions?
Things like, what do you think about? Or, how do you feel about that? Or, do you agree? Or, what's your opinion? These come up in conversations, at work meetings, with friends, everywhere.
But sometimes I don't know what to say. Like my English isn't good enough to explain my opinion.
Okay, so here's a secret weapon. When you need time to think, use filler phrases. Say, that's a good question. Or, let me think. Or, to be honest, these give your brain 2 or 3 extra seconds to catch up.
Oh, so they're not just random words. They're actually buying me time.
Exactly. Every fluent speaker does it, even native speakers. Next time you watch a movie or a talk show, notice how often the speaker says, you know, or I mean, or it's totally natural.
I always thought those words were mistakes, like bad English.
No, no, no. They are part of natural speech. They make you sound real, not robotic. Okay, imagine this scenario, listeners. You're in a work meeting. Your boss asks, "What do you think about this new project?" And you can either freeze and say nothing, or you can say, to be honest, I think it has a lot of potential, but I'd love to hear more about the timeline. See? Simple, confident, professional.
Wow, that sounds so smart. And it's not that complicated, actually.
It really isn't. The words are simple. The confidence comes from practice. And that's why we make this podcast every single day. So you practice every single day.
Yes, every day, daily practice.
All right, let's talk about one more big category before our vocabulary moment. Questions about plans and future. These are so common. What are you doing this weekend? Do you have any plans? Are you going to the party? What do you want to do later?
Oh, I love these. These feel more relaxed.
They are, and here's the interesting part. How you answer these questions tells people a lot about your personality. If someone asks, "What are you doing this weekend?" and you say, "Nothing," the conversation dies. But if you say, "Actually, I'm thinking about trying a new restaurant downtown. Have you been there?" Boom, conversation alive again.
It's that add and ask back trick again.
You got it. Answer, add a detail, ask back. That's the magic formula for keeping any conversation going in English, and honestly, in any language.
Okay, May, I have a question. What about when people ask things like, how much do you make? Or why aren't you married yet? Like personal questions.
Oh, the dangerous questions. Great point, Jay. So, in some cultures, these questions are totally normal. In others, especially Western culture, they can feel too personal, and it is completely okay to redirect politely.
Redirect? You mean like change the topic?
Kind of. You can say, "Oh, I'd rather not talk about that," with a laugh to keep it light. Or, "That's a long story for another day." Or, "I'm still figuring that out myself." These answers are honest, friendly, and close the door without being rude.
Oh, that's brilliant, because sometimes you don't want to answer, but you also don't want to be rude.
Exactly. Social English is just as important as grammar English. Knowing what to say and what not to say is a real skill.
Okay, I feel like I've learned so much today. Can we do the vocabulary moment now?
Yes, let's do it. All right, everyone, here are 5 powerful phrases from today's conversation that you can start using right now.
Oh, yes, I'm ready.
Phrase number 1, "I didn't catch that." This means you didn't hear or understand something. Use it instead of just saying, "What?" which can sound rude.
Like, sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you say it again?
Perfect. Natural and polite. Phrase number 2, "to be honest." You use this before sharing your real opinion. It makes you sound genuine and thoughtful.
Like, to be honest, I'm a little nervous about this presentation.
Exactly. It builds trust. Phrase number 3, "That's a long story for another day." Use this when someone asks something personal or complicated and you don't want to get into it right now.
Oh, I need this one so much. Like, why are you still single, Jay? That's a long story for another day.
Perfect use. Phrase number 4, "Not bad, just a little tired." This is a natural, honest answer to "How are you?" that sounds very human and relatable.
Yeah, way better than I'm fine, thank you, all the time.
So much better. And phrase number 5, "What about you?" or "Have you ever?" These are your conversation extenders. Use them after your answer to keep the dialogue going.
Like, I'm from Korea, have you ever visited? Or, I love hiking on weekends, what about you?
Yes, beautifully done, Jay. Those 5 phrases alone will make your English conversations so much more natural and confident starting today.
I love this episode. I feel like I could go talk to anyone right now.
That's the goal. And you know what I want everyone to remember today? English conversation is not about being perfect. It's about being present. Show up, try, use your fillers, ask back, add details, and you will connect with people.
Yes, and don't give the robot answer to "how are you" anymore.
Please don't. You are not a machine. You are a human. Answer like one.
Okay, before we go, our question for you, listeners. We want to hear from you. What is the question in English that you find the most difficult to answer? Is it "tell me about yourself"? Is it "what do you think"? Is it something totally different?
Leave your answer in the comments below. We read every single one. And if you want to practice your English every single day, just like this, hit that subscribe button right now, because we drop a fresh new episode every day, just for you.
Yes, every day, so don't miss tomorrow's episode. You never know what May is going to teach me next.
Something good, I promise. All right, English learners, thank you so much for spending this time with us today. Keep practicing, keep showing up, and remember, every conversation is a chance to grow.
See you tomorrow, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.